Blackmagic Design cameras aren't cinema cameras, they're just toys.
Is it a toy if it has autofocus? I don't know. But
18 stops of dynamic range and just like, it's like a kind of fun word association game. Do you have that?
Oh boy. Blackmagic box camera.
Welcome to a special Frame Voyager interview with this little known company from a small little island in the Pacific somewhere, Blackmagic. It was really hard to find you guys' booth today. I mean, I didn't really see anything anywhere about you guys.
Yeah, so. I know. We had limited signage. So, I'm Bob Cagnilia. I'm from the America office. I'm the Director of Sales Operations.
Awesome.
So my team, a lot of product specialists, and we do a lot of this. I actually came from Davinci when the acquisition.
Okay.
Right? So I was the youngest guy at Davinci, became the oldest guy at Blackmagic. So here we are. But it's almost 13 years later, and it's amazing to me because Resolve was a product that maybe 100 people knew what it was, or knew how to use it rather.
Yeah, right.
And now it's millions and millions and millions.
Well, and it was so expensive to start off with, too.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it's pretty crazy that you guys are able to offer it at the price you're able to give everyone creative freedom on it. So it's really cool.
Well, that's exactly what Grant believes in, creative freedom, right?
Yeah.
So now we're at a point where it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're, some kid just getting started or you're doing a Hollywood blockbuster film, you're still using the same Resolve. And that's kind of amazing. And it's really helped people. And now we have this new collaborative workflow that was enabled through our Blackmagic Cloud.
Yep.
Right? So, the cloud is the place it's a service to store the libraries for Davinci Resolve projects, and then people can pull them down from wherever they are and have this massive collaboration.
Honestly, that goes right into the first kind of questions I was going to ask about. It seems like everyone, especially since the pandemic, it's like everyone's really going cloud-based because of collaboration and stuff. So kind of like almost calling it like the cloud wars.
Begun. The cloud war has.
Yeah, I mean, we know that people have been doing collaboration on certain levels depending on who they are, right?
Yeah.
This really enables everybody to work that same way so that you have that project server in the cloud that everybody can pull down from. And then in Davinci Resolve 18, you have a new proxy generator to get people started faster than waiting for the massive files.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And not everybody needs the massive files, right? You could probably edit just fine with the proxies. You wouldn't do the color that way, but that's fine, right? But you can get started, and that's really the thing. Get people started, get them going, resync through Dropbox, all kind of handled in the Resolve software with the apps that we have. And basically enabling the masses, right? And then on the storage side, we knew that people needed fast storage, so we made some network attached type solutions. The big one is 20, 80, and 320 terabytes, and then there's a mini that's 8 terabytes, and then the bring your own pod where you just plug in a couple SSD drives and suddenly have network attached storage on a 10 gig switch.
I loved that you guys had those like tiered systems where it's like you have the stuff for the professionals who need it on like film sets and all that stuff, all the way down to like, just your general freelancers who would love to have that technology and stuff. And well,
it's similar to the cameras, right? Cameras start at $1,295, you go up to the 12K at $6,000, the ATEM switchers start at $295, you go all the way up to the $10,000 8K switcher, but there's a lot of things in between, so people can come up and down and backwards and forwards. And
exactly.
Yeah, it's a great mix, and we've always been that sort of trying to, there's that pyramid of every, and we're like, top to bottom, we'll just try that.
Which is, it's great. I know there's a lot of people, it's interesting to see how many, and just in my community in general, like how many different people use Blackmagic cameras in like so many different ways. So it's kind of cool to see like people get to use like cinema cameras, have an entry level where it's not like, paying like the mortgage trying to get a camera to use.
Oh, totally. My nephew's probably close to 40 by now, but we bought him a VHS camcorder that cost way more than some of the cameras.
I know, it's crazy.
That was 30 years ago.
Oh, it's great. The flexibility just with the cameras and what you could do with them is great. Which, again, talking about freelancers, I know I had some questions from a lot of people on my channel about the Cloud Pod. Does that work just with solid state drives, or can you plug that to an existing NOS system, or?
You could get into it, through the USB-C connection, yes.
Yep. I know you're not going to get as fast a speed,
right,
with it,
it's going to be limited to whatever that bandwidth is, but it is possible for sure.
Okay, that's good to know. That one was cool. I like that you guys kind of released that so you can at least get started in it and start moving everything over into it, even just from the ground level.
Exactly. Because especially if you're doing short form work, you don't need massive storage. You just need good quality storage and the ability to synchronize, and that's what we're providing.
Absolutely. Now, the one thing that really intrigued me with all the cloud stuff that you guys have coming on is the potential for, camera to cloud kind of capabilities in the future. And is that, I mean, I know you guys can't
we don't talk about the future, but
yeah.
even the update to the Ursa Broadcast G2, right? Being able to stream that right away, right? So you can stream that to like an ATEM streaming bridge, or as I call it, the ATEM streaming receiver, because it receives the stream, right? So you could stream to that and then turn that into HDMI or SDI and then start recording it, and it's, remote. So, it's there.
Yeah, because I know it feels like that's where everything's kind of headed. I know you guys can't talk about anything in the future.
No, we don't talk about the future, but you can see some of it, like, some of it's here, right?
Yeah.
And this is our first foray into this cloud stuff with our own, but that there's a lot more potential. And that's the point of doing the release before the show, so that people come in with questions or have already tried it. I talked to some guy who has already used it with an editor in Ukraine. I was like, whoa, that's cool.
Wow, that's really cool. Yeah.
On a lot of levels, that was cool. But the fact that and then he had questions like, well, good, now you're coming in with the operator questions of using it instead of going, so what are you guys doing and why and whatever. That's kind of been taken care of. And it's easier to, for granted, he explained it in a long video, but it was necessary to get it all out there, right? And you can't just do that in a 5-minute interview. So having the prep work done is a big help for me.
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, awesome to see your guys' cloud stuff and all that. And do you mind if we switch talking a couple of fun things about cameras?
Let's
and stuff?
go.
One thing I know a lot of people in the, in the forum groups and stuff, I know that the Blackmagic forum groups are a fun place with a lot of fun ideas, was the horizon meter that you guys have in the camera and being yeah. And I know, whether or not you could use that almost like Sony has with their information and almost use that for gyroscopic data to be able to do
Right, yeah.
I don't know if that captures that data. There's been that question.
I don't know if that is possible, but it's certainly something. I mean, it's like everything. We try to engage. That's why we like coming to the show.
Oh, for
right?
sure. Yeah.
To get information. Sometimes it's about future stuff that we get confirmation of, which is always cool. I've been there for those where it's like, wow, that guy is asking for everything that we may be doing. I'm not saying in this particular instance. I'm just saying that has happened, and that's why we do it. We come to these shows and bring the engineers with us so that they can get feedback on things and ideas, and either maybe confirmation of things they're already working on. And sometimes, we've had instances at NAB where somebody had an idea that was executed by IBC, which is only a few months away. Yeah. And we've done that before, so you never know what comes down the road. We just have so many things that we want to do and could do, but you have to pick and choose.
Well, it's hard because there's so many different areas you can go into the film world because it's so massive at this point.
It is, and there's so many more content creators, and our real goal is to enable all of them as best we can, and that's a task.
I know there's a big debate on the IR cut, the filters on the front of some of the pocket cameras. Are those IR cut filters, or is those just glass?
Boy, I don't even know 100% whether that's true or not. Because the 6K has
some of the stuff in the ND filters.
In the ND filters. But I don't know what the actual answer is that for
so it's a good, so it's funny because there's people that'll say on both sides of it. So I thought that was an interesting
that's
question.
Interesting that they're both sides of it.
Yeah, because that's why I figured.
You would think there should be one answer or the other, but I'm not sure if we even get into that.
Another fun question. I know dual native ISO is a massively popular feature. Is there anything that limits potential things for like triple native ISO or something crazy out there like that?
Boy, well, that's what he said. To me, I think up to 25,600 is pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
It's a big number I have to keep remembering, but but it is. Yeah, I think at some point it depends on the sensor, right? If there is some future sensor that's a megalodon of some sort. Yeah, maybe that is something you could do. I don't know, but for what we're doing now, we wanted to make the ranges the best we could to get usable images
with the widest range of users.
Exactly, and that's really where we are with that. Yeah, a lot of guys. It depends on where you're shooting. Oftentimes, it's better to shoot on the low range of the higher resolution than the higher end of the lower one. And I think that's where and that's cool because, like you say, the forum, a lot of people share that kind of stuff. Yeah. When I started in this business, nobody shared anything, but now everybody shares everything.
I know the dual native ISO thing's always like the most heated discussion because everyone has their own idea or way they like to do it, or it's like shoot at 3200. Oh no, shoot at 1250 when it's dark and it looks better, or like less grain, or like it's just
look, it's like anything. If I gave the same footage to 4 different colorists, I get 5 different looks. Yeah. So
for sure.
And that's so it's the same with shooting techniques.
I know there's big chip shortage and part shortage with all that. Has that affected you guys a lot with stuff, or?
Well, I wouldn't say a lot. I mean, to be honest, we always have a demand issue that we've always, but we've definitely pivoted as best we can to build the products we know we have the ability to make and get parts. But yes, we do have some chip issues every once in a while because you get promised a date and then it's like, all right, where are they? Oh, we meant like this date. Like, all right,
or we gave them all to the crypto miners, or like.
So yeah, we definitely have had some, but not as many as others. And because we do our own manufacturing, that's also been a big help.
Last question with the HDMI outputs. I know you guys have them at like 1080p, 60. Well, not with this one though, but with like the normal ones. Is there any? Well, I know 10-bit or external recording, but you guys have great internal recording already. So is that kind of like?
So yeah, I mean, I think it depends on where we are and what we want to do going forward, right? So like a lot of times people ask, well, can't we upgrade it? Like, well, no, that's not a field upgrade. That's not something
like
you can do. That's like a future product thing. I guess we'll have to see where we go with that. You know, we obviously could do 4K HDMI, but like, you know, how does that work?
And is it necessary for the coming product?
And the other thing is, like, you have to worry about power consumption, heat. There's a lot of things that come into it, and so that's why all of these things have to be kind of thought about. Like when 12G first started, that thing was a heat generator like no other, and that led us to do some different designs because of it, and we're like, it's not going anywhere and we're going to have to deal with it, so we have to change things, and we've been doing that. So you know, we have a great industrial design team, I have to say that. Yeah,
which I think is funny online. Everyone's just like, oh, they could just throw it in there, like, oh, it should just be easy, like, you know, put 18 stops of dynamic range and just like, you know.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes we've turned sand into silicon, but you can't do it all the time.
No. Yeah. And it's always funny with people asking about it. So now moving in, I always have like fun comments and stuff on my YouTube channel about Blackmagic cameras and stuff. So I just thought I'd get your, you know, take on some of them.
All right.
So I had this one person who commented and said that Blackmagic Design cameras aren't cinema cameras; they're just toys. So I'm actually interested. How do you feel working at like a children's company?
Well, see, I would say that considering some of the highest NDPs around the world are using them, I think they would probably take umbrage with that. Yeah, I think the results speak for themselves too.
I think so too.
And that just sounds like somebody trying to provoke, but
autofocus question. How do you feel about that? Because there's a lot of people that feel like, if you say autofocus and cinema cameras together, you're not a professional.
Well, right. I mean, I'm old school, obviously. I never used autofocus, even when I had a little camera. I'm like, I got to turn that off. I got to use, my own, right? But I mean, I understand the idea of using it, right? I just think that I don't know. There's a lot of. I don't know. There's a lot of licensing sometimes and other things, and I just don't know. I mean, is it a toy if it has autofocus? I don't know, but that doesn't mean, I don't know. We consider a lot of things, but for now we really feel like we're giving, because if you put a B4 lens on, then you can zoom in, focus, zoom out.
And do it
it's all in there. A lot of guys are using, because you can shoot 12K on the 12K, you can do running gun and then reframe for what you're doing. It looks like a steady cam.
Jump right in. Yeah, it's crazy.
So I think that there are, we have ways to get around it. I know that some people, if you talk to some of the higher NDPs, they're like, why would you even bother, right? But that's a certain part of the market.
Yep.
So it's something we consider, who knows when.
Well, and then like even future stuff, like I know LiDAR technology is very interesting with, because you can use it on any lens, anything, and you don't even need it internal in the camera. So I know that's...
Right. So there's definitely options for it without us having to do it.
Here, actually just have just like a kind of fun word association game. Do you have the...
Oh boy. Here we go.
So here's the first picture I have.
Unreal.
Unreal?
Pretty.
Pretty? Okay.
Not our box. Not our camera.
Not your camera?
Blackmagic box. Camera.
Awesome, Boo. It was great talking with you. I appreciate you, answering some crazy questions out there.
My pleasure.
But thanks, Bob, for a great interview. And love what you guys are doing here. So
thank you.
Awesome. Great meeting you.